Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're gonna do a back issue bonanza. These are all back issues, and these are all what you're reading, meaning stuff that I've read since the last time I did what you're reading. So I'm on furlough. This is my third of 4 weeks off. So I've been doing a lot of reading, getting some scripts done, getting some reading, getting some work around the house. So as you can see, we got a new camera, trying it out. Let's see how this works. And here you can go to link to pick up Heroic Tales #1. It's still available on Fund My Comic. It sooner rather than later we'll be launching the campaign for issue #2 and then closing down this site. So we're opening up another one. Here is the StreamYard link if anybody wants to come in and talk comics with me. And we got Joe Dogs in. What's up? What's up? What's up is that it's still pretty cold out, and I'm home from work. And yesterday I was real proud of myself. For those of you who know, I'm also a big board gamer. I bought a big box storage solution for Western Legends. Western Legends is this big sprawling Western cowboy game that I absolutely love. It's called a sandbox game, meaning you can do whatever you want. But this insert, it's a big wooden insert for a huge box, and I literally had it sitting on the floor for 2 years. Well, I finally put it together, and you know what? It's kind of relaxing to do that. And I threw out all the old boxes for everything for Western Legend. Everything fit in this one big box, and I threw out an entire garbage bag full of waste. A lot of cardboard. I'm reading Captain America 185-26 with Steve Rogers and the Falcon go up against the Red Skull. I remember those. Now some good stuff. Yeah, I have a vivid memory of Captain America, like 150 to around 200. There you go. I already talked about that. And Ernest says, "Hail, chat. How you doing?" Okay, so I was filibustering. So I'm going to start with the back issue Bonanza since it's a smaller pile. So I bought up Marcus's. Well, you know what? I got this was a good idea in theory, bad idea in practice. All right, so I'm going to just move all of this stuff over here. All right. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Now I can lower this. All right, so this is back issues. I did not read these yet. I just bought these, and I got these yesterday, and so I bought Fantastic Worlds #1 because Marcus Kellergrew did issue #2, and I can't read issue #2 unless I read issue #1 first. So now I could read this and Marcus Kellergrew's comic. I showed that in another back issue Bonanza. Brigade by Rob Liefeld and I can't read that, but Fatal Finale. So these are terrible. Somebody gave me Brigade #1, I think, and 2. So I have to read whatever comics I have, and then I'm like, okay, it's only 4 issues, so I got to get the other 2. But I literally will read this and have no clue what happened before. Why? Because Early Image was a poster company. They weren't a comic book company. This was just a book full of posters. There's no story, there's no continuity, or maybe there is continuity. I can't tell. But there you go. That's me talking about Image again. Okay, Good Girl Art Quarterly. I'm collected a FemForce. I'm late to the party. I got Fem. Oh wow, this stain is hardly showing up in real life, but on the camera it looks really bad. This is coffee that I spilled this morning. But anyway, FemForce is up to like 200 or something like that, but I'm only up to like 40. So every time I put it in order, I put in for back issues, I put it in order for a couple of issues of FemForce. This is Good Girl. I think there's 15 issues of these. I don't know about you, but I when I read a series, I'm like, oh, I read every issue of that series. I get like a feeling of satisfaction. Okay, this is a bizarre thing. I've been looking for this for a while, but I dated a girl in Albuquerque who owned a comic book bookstore, and this came into her store, and it's just like a preview of a role-playing game. So it's like a goofy role-playing game called Superpowers. It's first-class role-playing game for third-rate heroes. And I never saw it before or since. So I had it on my want list on mycomicshop.com for like forever. And I finally got a notification that it was in. So I finally got this. I haven't seen this probably since like 1995. It's probably not as funny as I remember, but you know what? The heart ones with the heart ones. Hell chat. Jay Lucian says, currently reading Jonah Hex Volume 2. Oh, that was awesome. That was so good. It was so good. I'm starting to think that Jimmy Palmiotti had less to do with it than he gives it credit for. I really do think that guy doesn't write anything. I think other people write his stuff and then he just takes credit for it because the stuff he puts on Twitter is just ridiculous. I guess charisma will get you far along in the comic book world. This is the Slick, but it's really Bizarre Heroes number 15. So see Bizarre Heroes, featuring the Slick. So this is me showing that I'm still the only Don Simpson fan left on the planet, and compatible with most name brand universes. So first solo issue. So he's goofing. It's like I said, I think Bizarre Heroes was winding down and he was trying whatever he can to continue with the series. Okay, this is the Marquise Dance Macabre. This is issue 5. I ordered 1 to 4 thinking there was only 4 issues, and now hey Marcus, did you see this? I see you just showed up late, but this was the first thing I showed. Now I gotta get it. I bought this Fantastic Worlds number 1 so I could read Fantastic Worlds number 2, which you drew. So I can't read your comic number 2 until I read number 1. So this is Guy Davis. I was coming up with a villain in Heroic Tales. He's going to be called the Black Marquis, and he's going to be like a goof on Black Market, Black Marquis. So he's going to be like an occult arms dealer. And I just described him with the tri-point hat, and somebody said, "Oh, that's like Guy Davis's Marquis." So I want to read this to see how close our characters would be. Doing research. This is Horrors of the Haunted. This is another AC comic, just a horror comic. It's a one-shot, so I picked it up. This is really weird. Okay, so a couple of months ago, from Discount Comic Book Service, Vault Comic. Oh, it's not focusing. Focus. Vault Comics gave everybody a copy of Beyond Real number 1. Okay, and it wasn't. Nobody ordered it, and then they claimed, "Oh, look, our comics are is the autofocus on?" And then they were claiming, "Oh, look, autofocus." Why? I'm all right. All right. There's nothing I could do. But anyway, I didn't order it. They just threw it in, and then they said, "Hey, look, we sold 100,000 copies or whatever." So I finally got around to reading it. I liked it enough that I picked up it's only 5 issues. It's only 5 issues, so I figured, all right. So it worked. They gave me a free number 1. Hey kids, the first taste was free, and then I picked up 3, 4, and 5. And now Vault Comics doesn't seem to be putting anything out. So I guess their marketing scheme didn't go that well. Okay, this is Evil Eye number 8. I freaking love this series. What is this guy's name? I can't remember. Richard Scala. And Brian Bow, who does Wolf and Batsy, said this guy's art is a big inspiration for him, and I could see why. And when he showed me something, I was like, I got to get this. Now, if you're interested in this, Evil Eye, you could get a collection of Fantagraphic books, get everything all at once. But I'm a floppy kind of guy. I got 1 to 6, pretty easy. 7 was a little difficult, and it took me like over a year to find number 8. And I think there's 15 issues or so. And I have to get them in order, otherwise I buy too many comics. Like I can't buy number 10 if I can't get number 9. So, you know, I'm so happy they got it because I'm really, really enjoying it. Like every time I put it in order for a back issue Bonanza, I get another Justice League. So I'm currently up to 16. So I read 1 to 16. So I read 1 to 15. This I didn't read yet. Look at this cover. This looks so good. This looks good. Look at this nut job over here playing. Because I'm gonna set up a pipe organ in the middle of like the Arizona deserts or something like that. Cavern of Deadly Spheres. There you go. All right. Another Spidey Super Stories. I vividly remember buying this as a kid. I vividly remember this. Little sip of coffee. Yeah. There's Kang the Conqueror. Spider-Man. This is the way Spider-Man looks in my mind. Still to this day. 35 cents. Okay. And so Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. This is number 16. No man can stand against the deadly hands of Kung Fu. Break out the Sons of Tiger in a riot of martial arts mayhem. So there you go. So this is number 15. So I've read up to 15. And then, you know, this is kind of the way I collect these old comics, and it keeps me from spending too much money. It's like every time I put in an order, I'll put in, so I'm collecting like 30-year-old comics once month at a time, you know, by doing this. Okay, so now I'm going to just grab a stack of, so now we're done with the back issue Bonanza. Why is this out of focus? I don't like that. No. So now we're going to look at, do I got to go back to my old camera? I thought it was autofocus. Is it focusing? No, it's not. This is just so annoying. Maybe if I stop it and then add it again, it'll focus. Let's see. Okay, that's better. All right. So Marcus says, oh, I didn't like Kang in Spidey Super Stories, or just in general. I did see it. Cool. So now I could read your comic. So this is Saint Nicholas of Myra. Oh, Dave's here. This is Dave. Dave's my buddy. He was just here on Saturday for role-playing games, and he was playing a super strong, invulnerable character with laser vision. Calls himself the Grunt, and his weakness is he doesn't like normal humans, even though he's a good guy. It's pretty fun, and they went up against a Chinese dragon. And then Sunday they're going to come over for board games. So this is Saint Nicholas of Myra, the life and legacy of the ancient Christian bishop who became the inspiration for Santa Claus. So I've been doing research on Santa Claus because, you know, worst kept secret is I want to do a comic book about Santa Claus. You know, historical Santa Claus. You know, not like Rankin and Bass Santa Claus. Here is 28. I read. Oh yeah, duh. I was gonna say I read 28. So yeah, I was gonna say I bought 2, but this is what I've read. So I read Spidey Super Stories number 28, Medusa. I love these John Romita covers. You know, it's just so, like, I don't know, kid friendly. So, you know, simple costumes. I'll put that over there. I gotta make 2 piles. This, if you remember, I did on a Sunday Comics. What a great comic! This was a good recommendation by Marcus Kelligrew. Oh, Marcus, what should I do for Sunday Comics this week? There you go. Look at that. That is just so good. It's a John Byrne. This cover is by John Byrne. Rubenstein. Inside it's John Byrne, Chris Claremont. You know, it's just so good. Just so good. All right, so here's King Cryptid. I'll put these in order, because when I read them, I put them on top. So these are this is Pete Samedi's Alternative Comics, King Cryptid. So they all came in. I love this cover. I love this. It's a good comic. Each issue is standalone, but yet they build like old comics used to. So you could buy just issue 7 and enjoy issue 7, which is what the model that I'm trying to do with Heroic Tales. You could just, it's a satisfying read on its own. But if you read them all and you read them all in order, it also, it rewards that too. Like old comic books used to do. This is really good, and you got to flip these over because they have covers on both sides. He's doing a good job with these comics. Doing a good job with these comics. I love this. This Frankie Washington did this cover. The Night Terror is number 6. Just check that out. He loves his kaijus. He loves his anime and everything. And then we flip it over. We got this. Look at that. That is just awesome. It seems like Alternative Comics is really, really streamlined. I mean, what are they even putting out? They're only doing 2 titles now, right? King Cryptid and Blood Realm, right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Unit 44 is coming out anymore. I don't know. I could be wrong. See, we got Hunter's Moon. Look at this cover. That is pretty cool. And then we flip it over. We got a negative. A negative on it. King Cryptid versus Werewolf. Pretty cool. So now here is these kids are recurring characters. This is the second time these kids showed up. But you don't need to know about the first time they showed up. Pete's doing it the right way. Halloween special. It's about trick-or-treating. And look at that. A picture of Pete Samedi himself. That's what Pete Samedi actually looks like when you take his hat off, you take his wig off, and you take those big oversized glasses. Okay, so that's a self-portrait of Pete Samedi. All right. The problem with Pug Wuggles, this one I really liked. There's certain I guess everybody, like my sister likes vampires. My brother likes zombies, but I kind of like fairies. That's the whole fairy abductions and everything like that tied together with UFO abductions. Look at that. So this is King Cryptid, and it's the Fae, and then you flip the cover over and it's the Fae, how they project themselves to be seen as just like happy-go-lucky kids. It's pretty clever. And then this is all the, oh cool, I didn't even notice this. This is all the little swag that came with it. So I got this little behemoth card. I like this special access card. This is inspiring me to make. I kind of want to do something like this later on. When I introduce my government superhero organization, make like an ID card for the future comic. Here is a print. Pete's good. He's timely. A little bookmark. Live free or die. Oh, this is pretty clever. Oh wow, this is pretty clever. It's like a little photo strip. That's pretty clever. What's this? Oh, now funding. A little thank you note. Backing board. I must have slipped the backing board in there. All right. So now more comics. Oh, I got so into Pete's stuff that I forgot to check the comments. Medusa is my favorite Inhuman. Black Bolt is my favorite Inhuman. But you know what? Picking a favorite Inhuman is like picking who's your favorite, brother or sister. I love them all. I have a real soft spot for the Eternals, the Inhumans, like all the secondary Kirby creations. I love the Fantastic Four; they're my favorite. But I'm talking about like some of the lesser known, like Machine Man and stuff like that, Devil Dinosaur, like Omac or Commandy. I kind of all the secondary Jack Kirby stuff, the lesser known Jack Kirby stuff. I just really, really, really have a soft spot for him. Okay, Marcus is thinking up something. Yeah, Unit 4. Yeah, Unit 44. Yeah, I haven't seen it being solicited, so I don't know if it's still coming out. It has Red Koi, but it's on hiatus. It's on hiatus, so it's not coming out for a while. So as far as I know, the only two comics that Alterna is making is King Cryptid, Pete's comic, and then Blood Realm, which is Robert Geronimo's comic. Two good guys. And then they're doing a crossover, Blood Moon. So, but other than that, like it came out on Wednesday. I think that stopped too. I have a pinup of King Cryptid 10 on the. I have a pinup of King Cryptid. Oh, do you? Oh, that's not out yet. That's not out yet. That only goes up to 9. So we'll be looking forward to that in the future. Hello, Universe, Luniverse. How's it going? Oscar, Gorgon is my favorite. Cool. Yeah. Like I said, there's something about all of them. It's funny because I loved Gorgon growing up, but now as a sophisticated adult, Gorgon bothers me because in Greek mythology, Gorgon means bright eyes, and there's only 3 Gorgons and they're all female. So, I know Kirby was fast and loose with mythology, like he had Ajax from the Eternals, like watching over the Aztecs. But whatever, he's 2,000 years old. He got bored of being in Greece. Black Bolt just doesn't get enough dialogue. Yep. Medusa is my favorite for obvious reasons. The gloves, the long hair. Luniverse likes long tresses. Oscar. So Oscar is going to do next Friday. He's going to do drawing lessons, and then we'll do it every 2 weeks. I thought that was fun. And Oscar, I sent over the first page of Eddie is Doomed over to Bill. We're going to letter it. So that's pretty, it's going to be a big task for a letterer, Big Bolt just doesn't get enough dialogue. Oh, okay. I have the number of King Cryptid wrong. Okay, hold on. Okay. I've always drawn to lesser popular characters. Yeah, because you could say that they're yours, So we're at this. Oh, I didn't tape it. So you will watch. This is the proper way to tape. I get this, and you put it like that. Okay. And you get you get the clear tape. And everything else is for barbarians. Okay. So this is 274, The Return of Mr. Glum. Oh, I didn't read these. So these are put in the wrong pile. Okay, so I didn't read these yet because I'm missing an issue. So I gotta put these in a different pile. Okay, that's why they weren't taped. All right, so this is Local Man, number 12. I also didn't read that. All right, so I messed up a little bit. I didn't read Vampir's Carmela. I didn't read this. I didn't read this. Okay, so I messed up. So this is I think I showed these already in another monthly visitor. Yes, I think I mixed up my monthly. But anyway, this is a Warrant magazine. So it kind of tricked me thinking that Warren magazine was coming back into print, and I started buying these, and then I got stacks and stacks and stacks of comics. So by the time I noticed, I already had like 7 or 8 comics, and I was like, all right, that's fine. So there we go. So I'll put it. See, this I didn't read yet, but I might as well show them since the stack is here. Patchwork Girl of Oz. I really like the Scotty Young or I forget who did the original ones. They were really good. So I'm just continuing. I hope they're good. It looks like a different team. The Serpent in the Garden, I got number 1, but I didn't read it yet. But this is like part of the Hellboy universe, Dr. Gray. Dr. Gray is like a Victorian occult investigator. I love that stuff. Prodigy, Slaves of Mars. This is Mark Millar, and I am way behind on my Mark Millar. Oh yeah, so I talked about all this. Way behind on Mark Millar. So I gotta read these. I'll probably go dig them all out. Like Geiger. I just bought the back issues of Geiger, so I was just about to start continuing with Geiger, and then I realized the time. Magic Order, number 4. Again, this is the 5th series, so this is like 20 issues of Magic Order, and I haven't read any of them yet. So Yeah. All right. I'm seeing now that I mixed up my monthly comics with comics that I've read. Okay, so this is Spiral City number 3. I did not read this yet, so I got to put this. Saga I didn't read yet. Okay, so yeah, I done. That's why my pile is so big. Okay, that's fine. Saga, I can't. I think I'm missing one issue, so I gotta get the back issue and find out what I'm missing. The World of Wood. Look at this, Wally Wood. Look at that. This is a Wallace Wood painting. You can see he didn't autograph this, but it's a painting that he did. All right. Uh, yeah, that clear tape is which I use 1 inch in the center. Yep, yep, yep. Oh, my pinup is number 6, Frankie's issue. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's show off Marcus's. That's number 8. All right, let's check it out. Oh, look, there we go. By Marcus Kelligrew. There we go. Cool. And this is by Matt Burke. Cool. Pretty cool. And then we got the link for Heroic Tales. This is chugging along. Renzo just sent a bunch of, I think he sent like 3 more pages over to be colored. Daniel disappears, so that's going to be the slow point. This issue, that's fine though. It's like Daniel, you won't hear from him for like a week or 2, and then all of a sudden he'll do like a bunch in quick. I love Larson, but I lost It's Dragon since the original died. Yeah, that was rough. I hand you the logo. Congrats are getting printed. So this is okay, let's put these in order. So this is Doomsday +1. This is early. Look at that cover. That is just gorgeous. This is early John Byrne. You can see John Byrne. He did not write this. He drew this. He calls himself the art robot. So like it's credited as Byrne Robotics. He's that's him being snarky. Like I have nothing to do with the story. I'm just a art bot. Really weird. I it's kind of charming. I recommend it. I would have gotten. So here's number 4. So that I could. I just realized I've been throwing all the comics in the same pile, so now they're all mixed up again. This is number 5. You can see the beginnings of the Byrne face, like all the women kind of have the same face. They're the last 4 people left on the earth, except for all the other people that they find. And this issue is, it amped up the stakes a little bit because they got captured by like a couple of guys that were like in a deep mine, and they were just going to kill the 2 men and keep the 2 women. What else were they? So like the stakes were like realistic, and it made me nervous. Number 6 is the last new material. The comic goes to issue 10, I think, but it reprints. So number 6 is the last of the new material. So I just got to get one more issue and I'm really done. Okay, so let's put these in order. Okay, so there you go. Here's number 3. I really like that cover. I like that. So space aliens showed up to investigate why all of a sudden Earth went silent. They've been monitoring the Earth. And then in this issue, the aquatic races are revealing themselves because who cares? Earth is destroyed. The surface of Earth is destroyed. So here we get. This is James Robinson. This is the 5th series of Fantastic Four. I had stopped. I'm trying to see if it says what year this is. I didn't collect this. I was done. And now I'm curious. This isn't bad. So this is James Robinson. He did Starman, which I really liked, but it's really a downer. It's really a downer. It's a hate to say it, it's like deconstruction. It's funny because it's all the things that I've been saying about the Fantastic Four, but then you realize you don't want that. Like how could Reed Richards have a nuclear power device in the building in the middle of Manhattan? How could Reed Richards land rocket ships and fire missiles from a building in Manhattan? How could Reed Richards have interdimensional portals? Well, the government gets involved and basically after a mishap shuts down the Fantastic Four, and now you know, they're all getting arrested. Ben is it was literally a locked room. They open up the door and he's standing over the dead body of the puppet master, and the only witness is Alicia, who's like, I don't know what happened. I just knew that there was. So it's really, really dark. And then when the Fantastic Four got arrested for having all of these devices and everything like that, they took the children away, the Future Foundation. So Sue is just on a rampage going through S.H.I.E.L.D. and Ben's in jail. And then as he goes to jail, he's finding Sharon Van Tora, the she thing. She's like in the jail too. And they're fighting. It's really, really dark. And the last issue is 14, I think, or 12, or one of those. But it doesn't last long. So I don't know. So like I said, it's all the things. See, I got 2 issues by accident. It's all the things I talked about, like realistically wouldn't happen. And then when it happens, you're like, but I don't want realistic. So here's the Future Foundation. These are all the kids that like the Fantastic Four mentor, and the original Human Torch is appointed their guardian to check. And now he is starting to be like, because they were going to one of the things that they had is Dragon Man was watching them. They upped Dragon Man's intelligence, and he's been reading, and they're just going to take him apart. And they just tell her right to Jim Hammond's face, he's only an android. And he's just like, but I'm only an android. Like, yeah, but you're different, so he's, so you get the feeling that something is going on. And this is the last issue that I read. So I put it in order for the last couple of issues, and I'll finish it. But the art is outstanding. Leonard Kirk is an underrated artist, I think. Just so good. And this is the Wizard. The Wizard started the Frightful Four, but with 3 of the women from Salem 7. So I guess it's the numbers. So we got the Wizard, we got Serpenta, Gazelle, and Vertigo. And Vertigo lost that big luscious afro. She's now a bold black woman, and she ain't gonna take any of your nonsense. She don't need a man except for the Wizard. And they're just causing destruction just to lure out the Fantastic Four. And the Wizard even says, because I'm not robbing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm paid a lot more money just to make you look silly. So this is a small digest issue of Fantastic Four. Arthur, guy one of the earliest viewers of my channel. We used to go to lunch. I got to call him up, see how he's doing. But he gives me like stacks and stacks of comics. He gave me this. And I finally got around to reading it. I think it's the first 3 issues of G.I. Joe. And I got to say, I really was surprised. I liked it a lot better. I never read this. So this is literally the first G.I. Joe comic I've ever read. So it's the first issue of G.I. Joe, and I think issue 2 and issue 3. I might be wrong. But I really liked, because in this issue, a nuclear scientist was captured by I almost said Hydra, by Cobra, and brought to Cobra Island. And one of them says, like, so just drop bombs, just air bomb the island, kill her, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, they're probably going to torture her for secrets. They're looking at the island. It's armed. He goes, we're going to suffer heavy losses, and so just kill them and kill. And one of them turns around. I think Hawk says, but we're the good guys. We rescue people. He goes, you joined G.I. Joe, right? You think it's hard, so we don't do it? I thought that was really good. In the second story, it's called Hot Potato, and they just got to get the tapes, the MacGuffin, back, and then just pass it to the next person and the next person. So Scarlet is fighting off Cobra, and she has the tape, and she passes it, I forget to who, and she's like, I'm not going to leave you. And she's like, she's fighting. She's like, go. I'll hold them off. And they're like, it's a death sentence. She goes, doesn't matter. And they're like, no. And she goes, I order you to go. And then she tells Snake Eyes, he pulls an Uzi on that guy. It says, follow him to make sure that he delivers the tape. So Snake Eyes is literally making the other guy leave at gunpoint because he wants to stay and protect Scarlet and Snake Eyes. And then he's just like, I can't believe you're making me do this. I can't, blah, 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 blah. He goes, with G.I. Joe, we stick together. And he turns around and Snake Eyes isn't there. So he makes it he passes it to another team of G.I. Joes, and they go back. It's Snake Eyes is helping. So I just love this. It's like a military loyalty fantasy. I enjoyed it. It's dated, it's hokey, but I enjoyed it more than I thought. This is Brit. This is it's no longer written by Robert Kirkman. The last couple issues I didn't like, but this one's it seems like it's course correcting and it's getting back on. This is Brit. They did the last issue. They're gonna tell his origin, but he's just like an 80-year-old man with invulnerability. He's not particularly strong or anything like that. He's just if you were fighting for 80 years, a trick or two, but nothing hurts him. He's just totally invulnerable. And now apparently he has a sister who's totally invulnerable. And, it's pretty good. Like, it's funny because like he can be restrained. He doesn't have super strength. Oh, let's check out the comments. Where he goes. So it looks like Burn but weird. Yeah, the early Doomsday +1 Doom. Byrne's first comic was Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch, and it was based on a cartoon, and you could still see Byrne. Doomsday +1 was like his first real comic, and you could see the Byrne influence. You could see the early Byrne. It's good. If anything, the story is kind of weird. The nuclear bombs come. They wait like a couple of weeks in space till the radiation goes away. Yeah, right. And then they land in Greenland, and they find a caveman who is frozen in the ice, and now he's, it's one of those kind of things, stories. But it's good. Those covers are colored with markers. Oh, the old Doomsday +1. Yeah, they look it. They look like it, but it looks great. I think. Hope you're all having a blessed day. Thank you, Zach Tan. I love that robot design for Doomsday. Yeah. It's Doom. It reminds me of a War Star from X-Men. How's the story of Doomsday? The covers look. It's hokey. It's dated, but it's charming. I like it. It's only 6 issues, and they're dirt cheap, like $2 or $3 each. But it's a guy, and it's funny because it's a William Boyd, Air Force pilot, is stranded in the future with beautiful NASA scientist, Jill Malden, and homely Japanese scientist Ikishi Yamata. So it's just like I just love this. What are the odds? Last guy on Earth with beautiful white redhead and beautiful Japanese girls. Yeah, and and then they find a caveman, and now there's a love triangle because Jill and William were engaged to be married, and now she's making goo eyes with Kuno, the caveman. But I like it. Where are we? Never mind. Okay. I'm not a one for dark FM. Yeah. Yeah. I'm these days. I'm not one for deconstruction or anything like that. I don't like Bendis just Powers. Absolutely, Powers was amazing. Bendis is like he must have been like, this is my own book. I'm taking it seriously. This is just Marvel. I'm gonna ruin all their toys, but I'm gonna play with my own toys. We all had that kid in the neighborhood who broke your toy. Oh, that sucks. It's a good thing I have one that I'm not gonna let anybody touch. That's why I like reconstructions. Just as criticism, figure out what things. Yeah. I'm over all the deconstructive. Leech, have Leech in the next Rogue. Bow chicken. Bow wow. Yep. Read the new G.I. Joe Transformers universe. Everybody's raving about it. I haven't read anything Transformers. I've never watched Transformers cartoon. Never watched. I'm too old. I really liked what I read of Brit. So did I. Just the 2 issues before that, they got a new writer, and I guess his first 2 issues, it took a while for him to get his feet. So I'm liking it. Charlton was a money laundering operation for the mob. It was the owner of Charlton actually did time. Yeah, it's absolutely right. See, we got Big Bang Comics number 11. The Radical Return of Faulty Towers. So, the Night Watchman, Kid Galahad, and the all new Absolute. It's hokey, but it's supposed to be hokey. It's the it's I don't know. Is the Night Watchman an open, a public domain character, or is it original for Big Bang Comics? But it's supposed to be, you know, Golden Age, Silver Age comics. Is Wolf and Batsy number 13. This was excellent. Look at that. Look at that face by Wolf. This was absolutely excellent. Issue 10 was my favorite. Now issue 13 is my favorite. It's very gothic. It's I know right now to say this word is anathema nowadays, but it's very Lovecraftian. This Brian, good job, Brian Bow. It even thanked me on the inside cover. This was excellent. Highly recommended. Go to brianbow.net and pick it up. Or I think he's on Find My Comic now. Just so good. And here is Project Analysis number 5 by Paul Thayer. I describe this as Image Comics, but with actual writing. So if you like, look at that. That is just total Image Comics, that artwork. But it's Image Comics with writing. He's doing it right. He's doing it right. I recommend this series. He kind of breaks all my superhero rules, but he's a good writer. Like, there's too many lines. The names have nothing to do with their powers. It's set in the future in a dystopian world. Their costumes don't, but it works. You know what I mean? So there you go. I like it despite the fact that Paul's breaking all my rules. Big Bang Comics. Time travel accident brings the Savage Dragon into the Golden Age. There you go. So it's a goof on the. This is the, I think the Round Table of America, I think is the name of this super team. Here you go. Oscar's comic. Oscar did the coloring. Look at that digital painting. The coloring is so good. But I did this for Sunday Comics this Sunday. So good. So good. Can't wait to read issue 2. Really good. I recommend this. Okay, here's Doomsday +1 number 2. Look at that robot. Somebody said they like the robot design. Marcus, you were saying you think this was done with markers, the coloring? Because the coloring is different. The coloring really is unique. Money laundering for the mob or not, I don't think John Byrne and the coloring and all these guys knew it, But I think you could see in the hair that it's probably markers. But here's the hot Japanese girl, hot redhead. Look at this robot. It's just, it's not good, but it's charming. Okay, here's more Wolf and Batsy. This is just an alternate cover. It's supposed to look like a Warren magazine. Look at that. Best Girl meets Ghoul. Excuse me. Best Girl meets Ghoul Adventures in Comics. So here she is in her bikini. Look at those skeletons in the background. So good. So good. Here's another. I got all of these. Look at that cover. Which one's your favorite? Look. This, to me, this is the most menacing Batsy looks. Don't trust vampires. Don't tell you, out of all the monsters, I think vampires are the scariest. Vampires are the scariest. This is number 11. This is the Violent variant cover. So look at the blood dripping down on the logo. That's Professor Zagzog just getting ripped apart. This is number 10, the Spicy variant cover. 2 chicks fighting in the shower. Can't beat that. It's cheeky. It's cheeky, but nothing too bad. And this is the comic just fell. This is number 13, but this is another variant. This is Brian said this is an homage to his favorite Savage Sword of Conan cover. So this is the Conan, this is the chick, and there really is a rat monster in that particular issue. I don't know if he said, okay, homage to Savage Sword of Conan issue number 2. So you could check out that cover if you're interested. And I will get the rest of my back of my what you're reading. I just got hit by my own easel. Oh, there's comments, but it wasn't scrolling. One thing about Charlton was the creators could pretty much do whatever they wanted. That's why Ditko liked to work from. Yeah, they didn't give a crap. It was money laundering for the mob, so they did whatever they wanted. I think as long as you followed like the comics code, you were good. You know, they didn't have like gratuitous violence or nudity or anything like that. But other than that, go to town, boys. Just keep the heat off me. Just keep the heat off me. If only we could get a comic about a redhead Japanese woman robot. There you go. There you go. There you go. Crowdfund it. You probably make a fortune. So this is okay. So this is 9 and 10 of DMZ. I just read these. Like I said, the premise makes no sense. The premise makes no sense. The Civil War in America, you know, for you know, the rebellions are all like, to me, the common people against like the Washington elite. So you know which side I'm sympathetic to. And they just, this militia sweeps across the country and they fight. You know, the soldiers, they don't want to, you know, the American soldiers, they don't want to fight America. It's apparently like they agreed with their grievances or whatever. So, and then for whatever reason, Manhattan is a demilitarized zone. It's just stupid. It's just stupid, but the writing is really good. So there you go. I like it, even though it is the hokiest, thinnest of premises. Okay, so this is this is number 7 of that Fantastic Four series. So this is tied into Original Sin. I does anybody know, like, do they continue doing this in Marvel? Is the Original Sin still a thing? So this is the Watcher got murdered, and everybody like got a psychic like flash of information. And this information, they found out that that Reed's been lying. He Johnny Storm messed up Ben's last attempt to turn human, and then he said, Johnny, just don't tell him you messed it up. I'll, you know, let him be mad at me. And of course, Ben's pissed off because you kept a secret from me. And you know, like I said, this whole James Robinson run is like a very, very down. It's very downer. They even wear red. You know, and the last issue is called Back to Blue. So I guess they reset everything. Reed Fleming, World's Toughest Milkman. This is the very first issue by what comic company is this? I don't even know. I don't even know what comic company this is, but I can't stand it. I absolutely can't stand it. I bought it on the recommendation of Chuck Dixon, who will be on my channel a week from today at 7 p.m. But he's just, I want, like, I think I would have liked this back in my pretentious 90s, my college days, you know, but he's just a jerk. There is nothing redeemable about this Reed Fleming guy. I know it's supposed to be humorous, you know, whatever, but it's like, I don't want to read a comic book about the worst person in the world. And that's what he is, you know. This is number 6. Oh, this is the issue. Yes. So Ben Grimm's beating up Johnny. Johnny has no powers. Oh, and Johnny Storm is just a jerk in this run. So it starts off, he's a rock star. Where'd that come from? But he lost his powers. So like, people lost interest in him. They're moving on to the next guy, and he's just, you know, living the life of like an ex-rock star. I don't know. Johnny's always been my least favorite in the Fantastic Four, but still, he's not a jerk. This is the first Eclipse issue, so I didn't know which one was the first appearance, so I bought them both, and I had to read them both. You know, World's Toughest Milkman. He's just a jerk. Okay, this was the last issue of Dawn and Vampirella. I think somebody gave me issue number 1, so I read it. 5-issue series. It wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it. This is a character I just don't like, Vampirella. You know, she's a vampire from the planet Draculon. I'm just not interested. But the art is gorgeous. It was a good story. Okay, here we go. Bob Hope, The Adventures of Bob Hope, number 13. This was on my want list for like 2 years before I finally got. And it's funny because I keep seeing like alerts for number 14. Well, now I can buy number 14, but I can't buy number 14 till I get 13. So this is great. Bob Oscar artwork. It's like 53 issues a month. You know, it's like a graphic novel every month. You know, goofy, chasing after girls and he's broke. This is like the character that Bob Hope plays. Penthouse Comics #6. I keep getting it because I want to get the conclusion of the one story that I like. But again, who's the editor for this? It's just a mess. What they really need is like somebody to go in there and just slap everybody. This is a weird critique, but there's not enough nudity. It's Penthouse Comics, and there's like hardly any nudity. The original Penthouse Comics, it was just boobs with words written on them just to justify the boobs. This is like such pretentious. Like, again, there's one, two, three, there's 4 stories, and 3 of the stories are about black grievances, and it's really weird because one of the stories I really got hooked at the beginning. It's so well written. I was really interested, and then turns out that he's biracial, but he passes for white, and now he's going to kill white girls because of the racism of it, whatever. And he's just a detestable person. And at first you kind of like the guy, and now you just like whatever. And then the second story is he's biracial. His mother was black, his father was white, and his black brother was blackmailing him for money. So he goes on a murder rampage and starts killing white women. Sound familiar? And he's a detestable person. So, who cares? I want him to die. Then the third story is a black girl and a Hispanic girl put on white makeup and go around stripping, and then the makeup eventually ruins off, and everybody gets pissed off, and they're horrible people, and they're drug dealers. It's like, I don't know what you're trying to do. You trying to get me to like these people? What? But the last story is called Miss October, and it's about this beautiful. She reminds me of the wife from Mad Men. I can't think of that actress's name. Beautiful blonde girl, but she was attacked in her home and beaten so mercifully. She has no memory of the attack, and she's now deaf. And she's trying to solve who did it. And it's going to be the dad, because let's face it, families are terrible. And she's blackmailing one guy who may know, and she hires a Hispanic private detective, and now the private detective is being eyed by a serial killer who kills beautiful women and poses them to look like Playboy models, once a month. It's actually a really good, that story I like. So far, it doesn't have racial grievances. It's just, but and then there's, the last couple of pages are one of them is an interview with like Amaranth, who gives a crap, and then another one's like a photo shoot of disgusting tattooed gross women that what happened to beautiful women? They're just gross. This was interesting. This is Freddy the Fix by Image Comics. I got this because of Garth Ennis. I'm a Garth Ennis fanboy. This was a Netflix pitch. No way you could, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. This is a Netflix pitch. This is Garth Ennis. I think this Ninth Circle, I think, is an imprint within Image Comics that are just Netflix pitches. They're oversized magazines, one-shots. And this is Freddy the Fix. He's a fixer in Hollywood. And he goes around and, so this werewolf, he's like a Hollywood, I think he's either a sports guy or a Hollywood actor, I forget, but one of those, like a famous guy in his normal life. And then he picks up men and he has sex with them, and he gets carried away and he kills them because he's a werewolf. And then Freddy the Fix comes in and fixes it. This vampire chick, rules like a crime family. This guy is the Jewish agent who hires Freddy to fix this guy's problems. And then he fixes another problem. It was actually pretty good. So just picture this Hollywood skeevy, underhanded, dirty stuff that really happens, but then there's literal monsters. Like we always say in Hollywood, everybody's monsters. Well, just imagine if Hollywood, they really were monsters, werewolves, fairy, ghosts, zombies, and vampires. This is just such a Netflix pitch. And that he is a fixer, and he's a spellcaster, and he's no good either. It was rough because everybody was detestable. Everybody was detestable. But it was good. Speaking of detestable, Here is a. Oh, let's check out the comments. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget that there's comments. Why are vampires the scariest? Because they're the most human. Yes, they're the most humans, and to me, they're the most conniving. And I have to say, I'm biased because of the way I think vampires should be. Um, uh, I have a vampire horror story that someday down the road I would like to do this vampire story. Um, and it I have the vampire story, and then I have its sequel. So the vampire story set in the West, and then a sequel set in like the 70s, 80s. And vampires are horribly scary, so in my world, the way they work, and you know what, what's the worst? Minotaurs. Let me, minotaurs are awful. Manhattan, not exactly along my big divides as far as I could tell. Oh, yeah. You're talking about DMZ. Reed Fleming. Marcus, did you like Reed Fleming? I just, maybe, like, it's just the wrong time. It's okay to make things hopeless as long as hope wins at the end. Then it's not hopeless. I forgot they even got that far. What? What are we talking about? Some person is looking. So what did I say? Have you read this book multiple times? That's what I get for forgetting that there's. So if you could repost, if you're responding to something and I don't know what I'm talking about, then let me know. Yeah, Penthouse sounds terrible. Yes. The art is outstanding. Every issue the art is phenomenal. The art is really, really good. But geez, come on. Again, I'm no prude, but like I bought Penthouse Comics and there's barely any nudity in it, but it's all racial grievances. But like, okay, it would be one thing if it was racial grievances and the mixed race guys like were good guys, but they're horrible. So like, what's the point of the story? Do I have any Mad magazines? I used to get Mad magazine as a kid, and they never survived because that was just like my cousins read them, my brothers read them, everybody. I wish I kept all my Mad magazines. That was like the one thing that just never survived. All my comics, I put them away. I didn't discover bags of boards until junior high school. That's why some of my old comics are beat up. But Mad magazine, I don't know where they went. Like people would they. So the answer to your question is no. Penthouse Comics bait and switch. It's just bad. I don't recommend it. I do not recommend it. Yeah, the art in that comic, Ninth Circle, Freddy the Fixer was excellent, really good. Someone watched Ray Donovan. That's what Ray Donovan is about. I never watched Ray Donovan. He's a fixer in Hollywood. I find ghosts to be fairly scary. They can really mess with your mind. Again, when I'm talking about stuff, I'm talking about how I run them. Like Yang Zhao, every once in a while he'll talk about role playing games, and every once in a while I just talk about my thoughts about monsters. Like I talked about orcs, how I would run orcs. If you ever saw Bone Tomahawk, those are orcs. I talked about dragons, how dragons up minotaurs. Oh man, you don't want a minotaur to live. They're the most horrible, wicked, disgusting, vile creatures in my thinking. But vampires are crafty, evil, conniving, nasty, scary monsters. But ghosts are the most sympathetic because like a ghost is just like a spirit that just got trapped, and they're living like almost like in a time bubble. Like they're almost like pre-programmed. They just do the same thing at the same time. They just want to. They don't even realize that they want to escape because they're like, they're just imprints. That's the way it goes. Damn Minotaur. Somebody agrees with me. I was expecting you to say you got Penthouse for the articles. No. The article in that issue is an interview with Amaranth. Does anybody want to read that? Does anybody care what Amaranth has to say? Oh God. Did you read that Penthouse book multiple times? I think you heard. Oh no, it's issue 6. It's issue 6. So it's It started out in issue 1, the first chapter. So it's chapters. So I think one of the stories finished up. Another story that I actually liked was about an actor who he did sex shows. It's a Penthouse magazine, and he got hired to be like the girlfriend to like this Chinese mob boss guy, and that was a good story. That was a good story. No racial grievances. It was a white guy who getting involved with the Asian mob. That was a good story, and it was really sad because like he didn't want to go because he had another girlfriend, so they basically scared out, like beat up what would mob do? It something about like mob bosses' daughters to me is a terrifying subject. Like a girl who knows everything her father, and she's a monster herself. That to me is a scary thing. Like I don't know, like if just imagine if Doctor Doom had a daughter who knows everything about Doctor Doom, and like whatever. But that was a good story. So, but that's over. The second story about one of them's over, but the strippers is continuing. The Miss October story is by far the best, and art is outstanding, and the other story is just stupid. And I read it kind of like because I bought it and I gotta read it. So no, I haven't read them multiple times, but I probably talked about it 6 times. I bet you in the first issue I probably talked about how good it was because they didn't open up all of this stupid, racial grievance stories, identity politics. So they probably talked about how good it was in the first issue. Yeah, Ray Donovan's a fixer in Hollywood, and he's not a nice guy. What's so scary about half man, half bull? It's their purpose, what they're for. I think John Carpenter's thing that's most scary because they take over people. Yeah, that's a scary movie. The idea of not being able to trust anybody is pretty good. So, why Minotaurs? Okay, in the original Minotaur story, Theseus, Crete is the dominant power. It's old Greece. Okay, and in real life, Crete was the dominant power over, like I think in Mycenaean Greece. And they think there was a volcano, Thera, that erupted and took out the Minoan civilization. But they worship the bull god. They worship Moloch. And what they did in real what's the name of the city? I forget. But they had a brass bull, and they would put babies in the brass bull and light it on fire, and you were sacrificed to the bull god, Moloch, just like because they were from Carthage and Phoenicia, the sea peoples, and in the story, you got sacrificed to the Minotaur, half man, half bull. It was based on a statue that you. So what they did was the Greeks and Thebes, because Thebes was the dominant power before Athens and Sparta in old Mycenaean, classical Greek mythology stories. Not classical Greek, but mythological stories. They would send 7 unblemished men and 7 unblemished women, virgins, all to Thebes, to King Minos, who was probably the high priest of Moloch, to be sacrificed to the Minotaur. And in real life, they were put into brass effigies of Moloch and burnt alive, sacrificed. Now, they were probably babies. So in Greek mythology, it's the Minotaur. So I extrapolated that as the Minotaur are the living representatives of Moloch on Earth. And they still want their 7 virgins and whatever. So they are just like, it's funny because like, oh, Minotaur, it's a playable race in D&D. And in my mind, they're like, no, they are the most horrible, despicable, like everything that you like think of, like Epstein Island and everything like that. Like if I was to write a story, like when you go to Epstein Island, inside that cube, there would be a Minotaur as a representation of Moloch. So yeah, to me, they're the scariest of all the monsters because they're the most evil. All right, so this is American Splendor. This is about another detestable human being, Harvey Pickard. He's actually a good guy, but he writes about like the worst parts of his personality. So this is just pretentious as pretentious could be, and I absolutely love it. And it's like the Seinfeld of comics, except take away the comedy. It like nothing happens. It's just stories of like Harvey bored and hanging out on the street corner talking to his friends, and then he's just like, I don't even like my friends. You know what I mean? I'm just so bored. I want to get a girlfriend, and then he gets a girlfriend, and he's like, I want to break up with her. You know, she's just it's that kind of stuff. And absolutely, Eddie is doomed. The real life world of Eddie is inspired by Daniel Clowes. It's going to be inspired by Harvey Picar, and then I hope to contrast it with the fantastic doomed Earth, you know, Silver Age DC nonsense, spectacular stuff drawn by Oscar. So we're gonna have Tonic Mold drawing this realistic, kind of downer stuff, to be honest, and then contrast it with the super spectacular superheroics. So yes, this is I like this. I could see it not being everybody's cup of tea. So here we got, this is the last issue. This is a super annual issue. This is issue number 15 of Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. We got this scene absolutely does not happen in the comic. We got Shang-Chi over here, and we got Iron Fist over here, just beating the crap out of everybody. And collector's edition of the best martial arts action. You know, these are quick reads because I don't read the martial arts interviews. I just read the comic book portion. I'd say half of this, you know, half of this is comics, half of it is just like how to improve your technique, and then like movie reviews of Hong Kong movies. That I do check out. But look at this, $1.25 when this came out. Curtis, what year does it say? What year? I don't even know what year this is. But these are fun. So this is number 15. As you see, I got number 16 waiting to be read. So there you go. That's all I have to say. That's I realized that I did an open invite and then I didn't really. Here's this. If anybody wants to pop in and talk comics, but that's all I got to say as far as comics are concerned. Anybody want to say anything? As always, I'll keep talking as long as the chat's going. Now I will pay more attention to the chat because I'm done with the comics. But there you go. Okay, makes sense. My little rant on Minotaurs. So there you go. In the Greek mythology story, Minos had a beautiful bull that he was obsessed with, and his wife became I forget why, but she was cursed and fell in love with the bull. So what she did was she had Daedalus, yes, that Daedalus and Icarus. She had Daedalus make like a statue that she could climb into, but its hindquarters were bare, so she could get in the doggy style position, put her butt up there, and then the bull could mate with her, and then she got pregnant, and that's how there's a Minotaur. So, and then the Minotaur lived in the labyrinth, and Theseus and 13 other individuals would go into the labyrinth, and he fought the Minotaur. And Theseus is kind of a jerk too. Sounds a bit like Noel's half beats folks that are actually, yep. Now I want a cola for some reason. I'll go get a Pepsi-O. I don't like Pepsi. I like Coca-Cola. As you can see, choice of Cthulhu. Is the invite if anybody wants to pop in. Who did the cover for? I think these are Neil Adams. I think Neil Adams does these covers. Yeah, Marcus, correct me if you're still listening. Is this? I think Neil Adams does these covers. I'll hop in if you got time. You know, you got anything to say? You know, not just to, you know, hang out. Like if we want to talk comic. She made sweet love to a steak. Yeah. It's kind of the American dream. All right, I've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes. I guess time to go. I got what I'm trying to do is reduce the all I got comic book. I have board games just packed back there, and I can't get to some comic book boxes. So I'm trying to reduce. Like I have like a board game with like 1 million expansions. So I'm opening it up and seeing if I could get all the expansions into one box. So there you go. Oh, maybe next time. Okay, yeah, I'm winding down. I'm winding down. All right, I got nothing else to say. So let's see. What's my schedule? I don't know what I'm going to do for Sunday comics, but I'm looking at my phone. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'm doing It's Clobbering Time. It's Clobbering Time will be Lex Luthor versus Doctor Doom, but not in a fight. I mean, let's be realistic. Doctor Doom would clobber Lex Luthor in a fight. I'm talking about like battle of intellects, wit, and things like that. You know, like somebody said, like who would win in a game of chess? You know, Lex Luthor or Doctor Doom. So we'll talk about that. And then somebody sent me a link on Twitter. Magic versus Raven. That is really, really interesting. So maybe we'll do that next week. I just realized I kind of look like Alan Moore right now. You know, if you just imagine a ponytail. All right, organizing is fun. I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Last night I organized. I should have taken pictures because you guys have no understanding of the feat that I did to organize this the Legends game. But anyway, I'm gonna wind down. Yeah, I know I invited people in, and then right after I sent it, I was just like, I didn't realize I was talking for an hour. I'm kind of hungry. My wife will be home from Bible study, and we'll eat. So there you go. Got now I can put these away. I can't put these away, or the comics that I haven't read, I can't put them into my read pile because I need to do these videos first. I got all of these rules that drive me crazy. But all right, I'll see you guys. I'll see you. That's nothing else to say. Bye-bye.